right, I'm hitting the button.
Okay.
Okay, we should be live now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beyond the Book. Yay!
Oh.
Go ahead, Jeremy. You introduce yourself.
So I'm Jeremy. Wait. Hey, I was testing the sound. There we go. We're here. We're here. We have sound. Great. Okay. I'm Jeremy, and I'm from Muskogee Public Library. I'm a library assistant here, and
I'm Crystal, and I'm at the Shakota branch.
It's good to be back here with you, Crystal, again.
Yes.
It seems like forever since we've talked.
Well, and we were supposed to actually have scheduled this last week because we usually do it once a month, and last week would have been a monthers. But I totally was thinking it was this week, and I think it had something to do with half the week is still in June, and I don't know.
Understand. We're doing some. We're going full steam on summer reading here, the adult program, and so yeah.
Oh,
it got away from me too.
Indeed. Tuesday was really busy yesterday, but I completely understand about that. I was going to see if I could have my other screen right here going at the same time, but I don't think I can. Anyway, all right, so yay, Beyond the Book with the Shelfies. Okay, so new episode. Do you want to introduce what we are going to talk about today?
Yes, we are talking about Stardust by Neil Gaiman. That's the book that Crystal has. Wonderful book. We're also going to be talking about the movie too.
Which I left at home. I was like, I left the movie home because usually, we're like do 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 do.
Yeah, and I should have brought mine. I have mine. I've seen the movie. I've read the book twice, and I've seen the movie about 4 or 5 times. I can't remember. I watch it like once every other year. It seems like so.
Yeah, it's one of those classics. I've heard it described. I heard somebody describe it as they were hoping that it would become like a Princess Bride, popular and what do they call that when it's still popular years and years and years later?
Yeah, you call it like a cult favorite, but
yeah, something like that. But yes, I don't know if it has, but I think it has, in my opinion.
Well, to my thing, it's one of those. It's my feel good movie. I watch. There's Princess Bride, of course, is on that list, but this is on the list of if I want something to feel good or if I need a pick me up or something. I watch the movie and it does that for me. So, so I watch it for purely selfish reasons.
Oh dear. Oh yes, I know. And on that note, though, the fact that it's a happy movie and you watch it for just something fun, and the interesting thing is that the book doesn't quite end like that.
No, in
fact, it's kind of like a not quite happily ever after.
No, I wouldn't call it a happily ever after. More of like a tragic ever after, tragically ever after. I wouldn't say like it's like oh my god horrid feeling, but it's definitely a different feeling it leaves you in the book. So
yeah, you know what it reminded me of though? It reminded me of kind of like a reversal Aragorn.
Yes.
Arwen, because she lives on and he passes away, and this time she lives on. No, wait, it's not. It's the same. It's not a reversal.
It mirrors it. There we go. But I do want to remind, if you're watching, be sure to say hi, comment away, and we'll.
Yeah, we're going to keep up with the comments here. In fact, I think I see one just now. Hi, guys. Oh, hi, Joy. Thank you for showing up and coming to our live book to movie discussion. Yay! And please, talk about what you're, want to talk about, bring up some conversation theories, favorite bits, things like that. She's excited. I can tell because her comment is, yeah, Stardust,
Of course, yeah. I have the same feeling, and I notice your background is like way fancier than mine. Uh, my background is like plain Jane
Yeah, you.
wall.
I hope you don't mind, but it almost looks like you're in prison in there, Jeremy. Are you okay? Do I need to come
Yeah.
break you out? You know
Uh,
how they're always that blank
I,
wall.
I'm, that's an interesting way to put it. No, um,
No, just joking.
no. But yes, it looks very plain Jane. I need to get a background. We're going to keep doing this, I'm going to find something to put behind me, and we'll. I have a dragon I can put in the scene to help liven it up.
There you
Uh,
go. Although I don't think there was a dragon in this one at all, was there? No, I don't recall
no,
a dragon.
uh, but I will say, if you don't mind me starting here,
No,
that
go for it.
I watched the movie first, and then realized it was a book by Neil Gaiman, and then watched the book or read the book after that, and then I realized it was also a graphic novel much later. That was a revelation much later that it was a graphic novel at some point.
Oh, yes, I love the graphic novel. Um, Joy just said, I dare say I like it better than The Princess Bride. Oh, Joy, what?
Uh, yeah. Okay, here's the
There's the
dragon.
dragon.
People can.
Oh, he's so cute. What's his name, Jeremy?
Well, the winner of it names it. So, um,
Oh, oh, is that one of the prizes for
this is
SRP
the
summer reading program?
this is the end quest for summer reading. So you're going to slay the dragon or keep the dragon. So, um,
Let's hope
so
not.
so, but yes, I dare say I like it better than the Princess Bride. It's up there with me. So, um, I can say that I actually like this movie better than the book. I was telling Crystal before we went live that uh, this was it's a rarity where I'm like, yes, the movie is better than the book, and we've discussed like the two book to movie that I like the movie better than the book.
Yes. And that's rare. I mean,
Yes,
especially
it
for us
is.
librarians, we're always gung ho for the book, and the movie's like, meh.
Yeah.
But yes, it is rare. And I will say I have one other one, which is Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I liked the newest movie the best, even better than the old Danny Kaye movie, and better than the short story because it was a short story rather than a book.
Right.
And this one, I like the book. I like Neil Gaiman as an author, and you whip right through it. I mean, I started reading this and I read it in less than like 3 hours. I don't know what it is. It's a nice thick book. It's not like it's super thin or anything, but it's so
It,
easy to read Neil Gaiman. You just whip right through it.
yeah, he has a
I don't
very
know.
easy writing style, and this was
Mhm.
his attempt to write a fairy tale.
Yes,
And
he said this was my attempt to write an adult fairy tale.
yes, yeah, and believe me, it has some adult stuff and
Yeah.
one thing the movie does really well is make it more adaptable to all ages. Um,
Hmm. Yes.
there's not as much uh, the adult material in. I mean, there's not a whole lot in the book either. It's just, but um, there are some scenes in the book that do lend it to being more an adult read than all ages.
Most
Uh,
definitely. Yes. And I think what because I read this when I was, I don't know how old. I was in my teens. That definitely, but I think I was just like and I skipped over that because I hardly remember that bit, and all of a sudden I'm going, whoa, wait a minute.
yeah, yeah.
I was like, skip, skip, skip.
So yeah, I must. I didn't realize it either until the second time I read the book as much that it had that much in it.
Yeah. Oh yes, Joy agrees with this. She says that his words flow easily across the brain and eyes. That's a good way of putting it, Joy.
Yes, yes, it's really good. He has a way of connecting connecting it with you. I think it's kind of unique. I mean, there's authors that are good at that, but it's just the flow of the story was really good. Um, his turns of phrases are really good in the book, and
Mhm.
I'm not going to say, well, don't read the book because the movie's better. They're separate experiences
Yes,
because uh,
definitely.
they're both they're both really good experiences, and you get to see his original vision in the book, whereas in the movie you get to see something that. And of course, one interview I read a while back that he said when he was talking about the ending of the movie, he actually understood why people liked it better because,
Yeah. Well,
and it was
and didn't he say something about how he liked the movie, well,
yes,
bits better than his book even? He's like, oh
right.
man, I should have thought of
Well, yeah, and he when he was at a screening, he mentioned saying, "Wow, that was cool." I mean, he was a producer of it, so he wasn't directly like involved and meticulously involved, but
No.
he was involved more than some authors get to be,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
so he did approve of everything they changed and thing. But he said that really came off a lot better than my book. So in a couple of instances, so
Yeah.
um,
Ooh.
but I have to say, my favorite if is the reason I like the movie so much is the casting. The casting is perfect in my opinion. Um,
Yes.
uh, you get the bigger name, quote big names like Michelle Pfeiffer and
Robert De
Robert De
Niro.
Niro, and
Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm sorry, Jeremy. Hang on one second. Joy wrote a comment here, and it is hilarious. That first adult scene, remember when we were talking about that? She says, funny story, I was listening to it in the car with my 4 kids.
oh,
And she was like, oh, whoops, sorry, y'all. Quick, turn that off.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Hello. Fast forward me.
I think that's hysterical. Uh, I've had several, not with that book particular, but I've had several times where my daughter has come in and I was thinking that I stopped it in time or something, and something that happened. She goes, "Why are they?" Oh no. So, uh, but yeah, that's a fun story.
Anyway, oh, and before we get on, I totally forgot to mention, um, this is a available on all of our Hoopla, Overdrive, RB Digital as an ebook, audiobook, and an actual the physical movie and the physical book and the physical audio also can be checked out via your library
Yes.
with your library card.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that here at the Eastern Oklahoma Library System.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yay! Okay, so anyway, shall we continue? Oh, should we post the trivia question now or should we wait?
I think let's wait just a little bit, but wait, once you show the prize first that you have, please.
Yes, let's get everybody like, ooh, excited here. Okay, so today we have a trivia question again, like we usually do on a Beyond the Book, and we have a prize. So if you win, you get the prize. And today's prize is, I don't know if you can see them, I'm going to get them right up here to the camera. They are little fairy tale books, earrings. And I'll just take one off. As you can see, they have the fish wire ear hook. Anyway, the front of them has Once Upon a Time. I don't know if you can see that. And then the back has Happily Ever After. So they're really kind of cute. And I thought they would go with our theme for our summer reading program, which is, fairy tales and castles and knights and dragons. And then, of course, it also goes with Stardust.
Yes, definitely.
All right. So,
So, um,
speaking of the casting, yes.
yes. So one of the reasons I liked it is, movies that have Robert De Niro are a certain type. You get to see his comedic side sometimes, but he is always portrayed as a character who's pretty rough and gruff. I mean, I'm not every time, but most movies I've seen him in, I've just been kind of like he's a man, and he's portrayed. He does that really well. And in the movie, he starts off kind of that way, and then you realize he's really not that way. And it was just interesting to see him play such a different um, character,
Hmm.
and I thought he did really well with it. Um,
Yeah, he did.
uh,
I would have to say I really liked the pirates,
yes,
and I mean, I think I liked the whole idea of the pirates, the airship,
right.
because everybody knows I'm partial to steampunk, and I just thought that was so cool. I love airships, and then of course the whole idea of pirates in the air, and I just love that. But anyway, I thought that was so fun. I loved all the pirates. They each had, you didn't really get to talk to any one of them really very much. They didn't have very much screen time, but each one had such a way of portraying their characters so that you could see it in the short bits that you got of them.
Right.
Especially oh gosh, why am I always forgetting that word? The
First mate.
second mate, the first mate. Yes, thank you.
First
The
mate.
first
Yeah.
mate. I loved his facial expressions every time the captain would do something, and he'd be like, or, uh, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah. It's just. I think the movie. What made it is they made it more of a kind of a comedic movie, and I think that really worked for the movie version.
Yes,
And
because in the book, there's actually like hardly any discussion with the pirates
right.
or any storyline with the pirates. I mean, yes, they got picked up off the cloud, um, and I'm really not remembering. In fact, the captain's name was not Captain Shakespeare in the book.
No. No. That was
Shakespeare.
kind of all. That was a
Shakespeare.
added time. I think Neil Gaiman approved of it, but that was an added story
Yeah.
to kind of flesh out that a little bit more. And in fact, that whole thing was added to give them more depth, to give them more of a purpose in the movie. Um, so, uh, but the book, it's not without. I love the language he uses. There's one scene, and I'm going to shift because I found a quote that I really like. Now I
Oh
can't find.
yes, favorite quotes, favorite scenes, yes. And anybody who else is watching, please let us know what your favorite scene or quote was from the book or the movie. We would love to hear about it because
I,
after all, this is a fiction.
yeah, I am not finding the quote that I found. So,
Uh-oh. Oh
well, maybe that it was the ending. It's the way uh, uh, he phrased the ending close to the end, where she's looking up at the stars, or she's looking down, and I can't think of it. So, so, but I love the way he expressed it,
no.
and it was just uh, it's something you could not capture in a movie
Mm.
because it was just so well put, and it would take. Uh, oh, there we
Yeah.
go. It moved. It moved over. Sorry, I'm back. should be should be back now any second.
Mm. Yeah. I was
There it
looking.
goes. Uh,
I was looking in the book, but I don't know what exactly scene you're talking about, so I wouldn't be able to help you, I guess.
yeah, it's close to the end. If you go to the end, it's where she's back in the. I'm drawing a blank. What's the last
Storm.
paragraph look like?
She's back in Stormhold, or after he dies.
I think so.
After he dies. Okay. Um. They say that each night, when the duties of state permit, she climbs on foot and limps alone to the
That's it.
highest peak of the palace, where she stands for hour after hour, seeming not to notice the cold peak winds. She says nothing at all, but simply stares upward into the dark sky and watches, with sad eyes, the slow dance of the infinite stars.
That's it.
That,
That,
that's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, and that
Beautiful. It's just
again,
beautiful.
it is. It's beautifully sad.
Yes, it is.
Because in the movie they have the Babylon candle and they get to go back and they go back together. she gets to go back to the stars, and in the book they don't, and in the book she stays, and that's it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Which is like I was mentioning earlier, and which Joy actually mentioned too. She says it's a mirror of Aragorn Narwin. Yes, I know. We were talking about that. I thought so too. It's like, yeah. And then all of a sudden I was like, uh, for some reason I kept thinking that it was a reversal, but then I'm like, no, wait, it's the same. It's a her, and he dies, and she stays. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. But that is very beautiful. It's poetical almost, and
Hmm.
but
Oh, there's a comment. Joy has another comment. Because, announced Tristan, every lover in his heart uh, is in his heart a madman and in his head a minstrel. And that is a great quote, too.
yes, that is a good quote. Yes.
And yes, it's just there's so many of those in the book that's what makes the book so unique to read. Is that stuff you can't really capture uh, in a movie. I mean, even if someone says it, it's just it doesn't register, the same way. So
Yeah.
uh, there's just so much of Neil Gaiman in the book that's not in the movie that it makes the book is definitely uh,
Yes.
you
It,
need to
it's
read it too.
it's
If
a
you like
must
Stardust the
read.
movie, read the book too. So
Oh, okay. So I have a question though, Jeremy. Which one would you recommend doing first? Reading the book or
oh
watching?
gosh, uh, I always if you are a reader and a watcher of movies, I would suggest reading the book first because then I think you can uh, separate it. If you're one of those that continuously compares the book and the movie, which is something I've stopped doing after a while, then watch the
Mhm.
movie first because the changes in it are there are some big changes, and it can be kind of off-putting with that. So that I would recommend if you have a equal liking of movies and books, then just I'll read the book first, of course. But if I used to be where I would contrast the movie while it was going on at the book, and that would distract me so much that I could never enjoy the movie. I've since stopped doing that, and I've enjoyed movies a lot more. So, uh,
Well, I kind of feel like if you read the book first, you can actually appreciate the movie more
uh-huh,
because like we've been talking about how there is more, not necessarily more to the movie. They do leave out a lot of stuff from the book, and they change some things. There's some
mm-hmm,
differences, and you might appreciate the movie better if you've read the book already, in a
right,
sense, and appreciate all those new differences, and especially like the pirates.
yeah. Were, it's been a little bit. Were they like lightning farmers or something? Lightning
Yes.
capturing lightning?
Hmm.
Okay, yeah,
Which in the book they do capture the lightning too, uh, but I liked how they in the movie they even went to sell it,
yeah.
and Ricky Gervais, no,
Gervais.
Gervais. Okay. Anyway, I can't remember ever how to say his name right, and his character wasn't even in the book at all because they
Right.
didn't really even discuss that bit in the book where they went to sell it. And anyway, that was hilarious.
No, I think that whole thing was just added to give the pirates a little more depth,
Yeah.
which is why Neil Gaiman liked it so much because it gave it gave them more screen time and a little more depth uh, in
Yeah.
expanded on their characters a little bit. So
Right. Did you watch that interview where Neil Gaiman was talking about the walking on the set and seeing the pirate ship for the first time, which and he wanted to apologize to everybody. He's like, I'm so sorry. Because it's super easy just to imagine something and write it is one another thing to actually build it and make it. And he's like, I'm sorry guys.
yeah,
That was so funny.
yeah, yeah. It's just so many good things. Uh, oh, so Joy has a
Oh, okay, so opinion time. What is your answer to this quote? Are we human because we gaze at the stars, or do we gaze at the stars because we are human? Hmm. I'll let you go first, Jeremy.
Thank you. Uh, uh, that's a good question. I think we all wonder what more is out there, and so I would think. Uh, I think we are human because we gaze at the stars. Because
Okay.
we're always looking. I mean, both are true to an extent, uh, uh, but we gaze at the stars with possibility in mind. I guess that's what makes us human.
Hmm.
You know, when we are looking at the possibilities of what's going on up there, what is that? That's that nursery rhyme, "Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are."
Yeah.
Yeah. So, uh, yes, you put me on the spot, Joy. So,
Aw. Well, no, it's my fault because I made you go first. I
yeah,
think
I
it's
think that
we
if you
gaze at
go,
the stars because we're human, which is what you were saying. We gaze up there because we're like, wow, that's a whole nother dimension that we haven't had a chance to really explore yet. And we really want to get up there. So
uh-huh.
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's a good, very good, Joy. Thank you very much.
yeah. Thank you for that question. That's a that's a good question. Is that a quote? That's a
Jeremy.
quote from the book, though, isn't it?
Yes, that is a quote from the book. It's another one of those like uh oh gosh, now all of a sudden I forgot. Hang on.
Philosophical.
Philosophical mumbo jumbo? No. No, it's like the quote, it's like Joy's favorite quote that she posted earlier. Every lover in his heart is a madman and in his head a minstrel. It's one of those very poetic, you
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
lines
Uh,
that
and,
really
and
make
those
it.
and that's what makes the book so special.
Hmm.
And it doesn't translate in the movie that way. The movie is more adventure fun,
Hmm.
which is the book is more like fairy tale with philosophical elements in it. And it there are two different types of stories, in my opinion. I think it's presented two different ways. It's
Right.
kind of the similar story presented, like if I were, sorry, I'm kicking my trash can. If I were,
Get that trash can.
if I were a philosopher and telling a, story, I would tell it like the book was.
Right.
If I were trying to rouse everybody and encourage them and to go on an adventure, and uh, I would tell it like the movie. If I was wanted to entertain. Let me put it that way. If I wanted to entertain someone, I'd tell it like the movie. If I wanted to be philosophical and think, I would tell it like the book, which is still entertaining. It's just
Mhm.
the focus seems to be more on. There's a different focus on both mediums. So
I'm going to go ahead and type up the trivia question.
yes.
Uh, who was, and I'll let you, Jeremy, say it.
Oh, okay. Our question today is, who was the last prince who died? What was the name of the last prince who died? Basically, is um, who was the last prince who died?
Who was the last prince to die? Yeah, in the book and in the movie, because they were all trying to kill each other off to become the king of Stormhold.
And that was hysterical too in the movie. I thought that was,
Oh, I know. Yes. Go
and
ahead.
I just was, it cracked me up. And then the ghosts come up, and the ghost, it's just hysterical. Uh,
Well,
uh,
and they had a lot more characterization in the movie too
yes,
than the book. Because in the book, yes, he mentions that they're sitting there watching everything, and they do say something a little bit here and a little bit there. But in the movie, man, it really brings out each one of their characters and how they interact with each other once each one dies, and they appear with them, and they're like, oh.
yeah, it's just, yeah, uh, it's just hysterical. And that's why I appreciate the movie is you get more of that. Uh, there's more time spent there, whereas in the book it's kind of a mention. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, I really appreciated that. The
Uh-oh.
that
I, I
oh
think we
wait,
lost you.
no, I'm here.
Mhm.
It's just my phone popped up with something. Uh,
Oh, okay.
so, and it does that when it pops up with something. It goes away. But
Technology.
but yeah, I love uh, everything in the movie. You know, the movie portrays the witch in a different way. You know, in the book, the witch kind of knows when to back off. You know, and in the movie, it's kind of like no, you know. And Michelle Pfeiffer does such a good job portraying her. You know, and she the
Yeah.
big final battle. You know, and that I love that too. That whole scene with the witch and she's reanimating and all that stuff. And uh,
And all the princes are sitting there on the mantle. And when she reanimates him, they all look at him, and he's like, "What?"
I yeah, yeah, that was great. That's great.
Which is a very excellent element of the whole movie, because just like we were talking about the pirates, their whole facial expressions, or their movements and actions accentuated their characters, and that's the same thing with the ghosts.
Yeah,
That's what I thought.
yeah.
It was like, oh yeah.
So
Okay, let me see.
I think that was a hard question. That may have been.
I don't know. Uh, we have 3 viewers, but only one's commenting. Come on, folks. Let's hear some comments. Let's hear some
Yeah,
answers. And if you are here, do say hi in the comments below, and mention one of your favorite bits from the movie or the book, or ask us what our favorite bits were. I think Jeremy's already said. I don't think I have mentioned actually what my
no,
favorite
okay.
was. Ooh. Well, I think I like well, I like the pirates. That was just so funny. That whole bit, with the pirates and how they don't say much, they don't have much screen time, but you get a good idea of how they're what their characters are, who they're like, as a pirate, and the first mate. I think the first mate's my favorite character of the pirates. I mean,
Yeah, he's
he
pretty
sits
funny.
there and he's just yeah, he sees the captain say something or do something, and then he's like, huh.
Yeah,
He rolls his eyes.
yeah,
It's just so
yeah.
funny.
That's
And of
hysterical.
course, the princes when they become ghosts. There's a deleted scene in the movie, and I don't know if everybody has, like the copy that I own, has deleted scenes in it. So I don't know if everybody's gotten to see the deleted scenes. But one of the deleted scenes is they're all sitting there bored, in the coach, while the well, I can't say his name because I'll give it away. Oh, shh. While the one prince is still driving the coach. Anyway, um, they're playing I Spy with My Little Eye.
Oh
And
yeah.
I don't know if everybody else
Okay.
got to
Yeah,
see
I
that
think I have
deleted
seen
scene, but
that.
that was
I think I remember seeing that because I think my copy does have the deleted scenes in it. So, um,
oh, we've got a new comment. Okay, so Joy asked, why do you think they changed his name from Tristran to Tristran. I think it's just because it was easier to say.
yeah, I think that was
What do you
definitely
think?
the only reason. I think it was just easier to say Tristran. Tristran doesn't sound, you know, it sounds harder to say. I think
Well,
from a perspective of a viewer, it would have been it's easier
it,
to hear Tristan. It's easier.
well, and as a reader, I still read it as Tristan, not
Yeah, I did too.
Tristan. Tristan. I would just sit there and read it Tristan. I wouldn't read it Tristran.
Say, you know, so I saw the
See,
movie
it's
first, so
hard.
I of course was hearing, you know, I read it as Tristan too because that's who I saw the movie first. So or watched the movie first rather than read the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can read the movie. Um, so Well, should we ask our other question then,
Oh,
maybe?
our other question. Well, okay. So in the movie, there
Yeah.
was a narrator. Um, who voiced the narrator? Who was the narrator for the movie? It's a very easily noticeable voice, I guess. For me, it was anyway.
Yeah. I had to be
I
reminded
sat there,
also.
and as soon as the movie started, oh, as soon as the movie started, I was like, oh, I forgot he was the narrator on here because I watched this. I try to watch it at least once a year. I do, but
Yeah. I
I
was the
had
same. I
totally
watch it at least
forgotten.
once every other year, it seems. So,
Well, uh, we're about ready to wrap up because we're trying to get these down to 30 minutes. Ha ha.
I think
But there's just
45
so much
minutes
to
is good.
45. Perfect. Because we've got to still talk about a few things and then wrap up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, okay. So we talked about how the ending was slightly different, how they were
Right.
able to go back up to the stars at the end of the movie. And then in the book, it was almost as Joy mentioned, mirror uh, of Aragorn and Arwen from Lord of the Rings.
Right.
He is mortal, so he dies, and she lives on forever practically. Probably, but I don't know. She is a star, and they never did really mention how long stars live.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's an interesting. I always call him Gandalf. We have a Gandalf narrated.
Yep. Gandalf narrated it. Yeah.
Okay, but what's his name in real life? Gandalf narrated. That is a good one. I like that actually. Gandalf narrated Stardust.
Well, it makes it sound
And of course,
pretty epic.
it does, yes. The epic movie narrated by Gandalf. Okay, Baha Gandalf. Gandalf. Okay, I don't see any more. Right, I think they left the end open for interpretation. Oh, for the book of the movie, Joy mentions in a comment here, she says, I think they left the end open for interpretation. So are you meaning the book or the movie? The book probably, because the movie obviously they go up and stars done, yay, happy.
Yeah.
But of course in the book he dies. He ends up dying, and the interesting thing is, here's another major difference. In the book, stars can't bear children. They can't have kids. And in the movie, they have like tons of kids. And he's like,
Yeah.
okay, here's the stone. Whoever gets it next, but no killing or something. Don't kill each other.
Yeah. the Yeah, she's talking about the movie. It seems about how the movie was open to uh, you can interpret that it ended like the book with the ending of the movie, even though they didn't say it. Um,
Right.
so I think it ended on a happy note, and I think that's really what the movie was
Yeah.
the point of the
What
movie
they,
was just to make you feel good. So
yeah.
the ending on that sad thing would just been like, okay, what did I just watch? I just came to the end for what?
Well, and the book, of course, I mean, was a little bit more gruesome in some things, and I can understand why the movie was not as gruesome because they were trying to um, have a nice, a bigger viewing, crowd.
Yeah,
And I had forgotten how gruesome a death that poor unicorn had in the book, and I'm going, oh, how did
yeah,
I read this when I was a kid? This is horrible. I love unicorns.
yeah. There's a couple of things that are really just shocking in it. You know that.
No, I'll go, oh my goodness, I must have skipped this bit or something. And the great thing about the movie was I mean, yeah, there's flamage gumming all over the place at the end, and Tristan and I forgot her name. The star. They
Uh,
get out the Roman candle, or the Babylon candle. I mean, Roman candle.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But the unicorn, you know, you don't actually see it die, but you also don't see it escape either. So it's almost like left open. And I think as a kid, when I first watched that movie, I was like, okay, it got away. It's all right. It's safe.
Yeah. Yeah. Her name left me too.
Do what?
Her name left me too.
I know. It's like Yvonne, but it's
Oh, it's
Yvain. Yvain. Is it
Yvain.
Yvain?
Yvain. Yvain.
Yvain. Yvain.
Yeah.
Yes. Yvonne
So,
Yvain. Yeah. There you go. Yay! Anyway, okay, so we had two trivia questions. One of them was who was the last prince to die? Nobody actually answered that one, at least not to my knowledge. I did not see any comments to that. I think they left the yes, and our second one, oh yeah, Joy says Lamia or Yvain. Yeah, Lamia. I think it was Lamia, right? She was the
mhm.
witch in the
Yeah.
movie or the book. What was her name in the book? Was that Lamia? Anyway,
Yeah.
so we asked a second trivia question. The second trivia question was, oh, Joy missed the first question. Oh, I pinned it to the top, Joy. Who was the last prince to die? Do you know who that is?
And she did answer the second question.
She did answer the second question, yes, but I wanted to see if anybody knew.
Yeah.
No looking up. No, I'm just kidding. We can't stop you
Yeah.
from Googling
Yeah.
it. It's actually, wasn't his name Mark Strong, the actor who played him?
Yes. I
Yes,
believe so. Yes.
I like him. Have you seen the Emma with him in it? He plays um, uh, Mr. Knightley in I think it was the BBC version, and Emma was played by Kate Beckinsale. Did you see
Okay. I
that?
have not seen it, but I've heard of it, and I've seen it, but I haven't seen the actual production.
That's my favorite Emma version. I mean, I know that new one came out and it was okay. It wasn't my favorite still, but it was hilarious because it had Bill Nye in it as Mr. Woodhouse. I was like, oh my gosh, gotta watch that, you know. But anyway, I liked um I liked Mark Strong as Mr. Knightley in the Emma in that one Emma. I think it's a
Yeah.
BBC production. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
anyway,
I think it is.
yeah, I liked him in that one. But so let's see. We still don't have an answer for that one. So I guess we'll just go with the second trivia question, which is a good one too, but I thought a little bit easier than the first one, huh? Oh, but Joy says, I'm not answering any more questions. Someone else needs to win. Nobody else is commenting, Joy. We do have like at least 3 viewers on at the moment, but nobody's
Yeah.
commenting. Dun dun dun. Okay, so the answer, of course, to our second question, who was the narrator for the movie, is Ian McKellen. Yes, Gandalf. Made it most epic. And Joy, because you answered the second trivia question and nobody else seems to be commenting. Oh, hi, Jeremy. How are you? Thank you for commenting. Maybe I should comment too. No. Yes, Joy says I had to answer the Ian McKellen question because Lord of the Rings is my absolute fave, and I agree with you. It is. It's a good one.
Yeah. I love Lord of
They
the
did
Rings.
an excellent. I know they did an excellent job of casting that movie too. Wow,
Yes.
all three of the movies, plus the Hobbit movies, and well, anyway, we
We could
probably
go
should get
on
into
about
that.
those. Yeah.
Oh yes,
I think if we did a
that
whole,
we
if
will
we did
have
a,
to.
if we did a Beyond the Book for that, it would be more than we'd have to do it in several parts.
Yes, it would have to be like a three-parter, four-parter,
Yeah.
five-parter.
Yeah.
Because
So,
we can't stop with just the Lord of the Rings movies. We'll have
yeah.
to do the Hobbit movies too.
Yes. Yes.
But anyway, all right. So Joy, you are the winner. I'm going to go ahead and post a comment on here. Congratulations, because we are going to wrap this up now. We are running out of time. Yay! But thank you, everybody who has popped on and joined us for our live Beyond the Book discussion over Neil Gaiman's Stardust and Stardust the movie.
Thank you all so much. It was so fun. I love this book and the movie. And if you have not read it, please read it. And if you have not watched it, please watch it because it's an excellent story. However you decide to experience it. So and really, I'm looking forward. I'm going to go look at the graphic novel now because I didn't even know there was a graphic novel in existence. And from what I read, it was like supposed to be a graphic novel first.
Really? I didn't hear about that. I heard that there was a graphic novel, and we have the graphic novel on Hoopla.
Uh-huh.
It's available to check out.
Because
Yay,
I've been reading
exciting.
and I went, really? I thought, and then someone said they took out the pictures and he wrote it more of like a fairy tale style later. So it was like, I didn't know that either, that it was supposed to be a graphic novel first. So
I didn't know it was supposed to be first, though. That's interesting. Wow. Huh.
shall we tell them the answer to the first question then?
Oh, yes. Okay. Septimus.
Yes.
Septimus was the last
Septimus.
to die.
Yeah.
Oh, and go ahead, Jeremy, because you just love all their names.
Oh, yes. I just think that's one of the best parts of the book was the names Primus and uh, uh, that's the first son, of course, Primus.
Of
And
course, Primus,
uh,
Quandus,
yeah, Quandus.
Septimus,
Secondus. Secondus.
Secondus.
Yeah.
Let's see. It was basically just all the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
This um, Quandus, Quartus. Wasn't there a Quartus? No, I'm messing
Uh,
up here. Anyway,
yeah. It's
it
just
was
I can't
fun. It
remember
was a
all of
lot of
them.
fun.
Yeah, but it's just it's some form of the numbers that they represent. So Primus is one, prime one. Secondus,
Yeah.
Tertius, or something like that.
Yes. This,
And
yeah.
yeah, so
Now, it was pretty funny too that they got Peter O'Toole to play the king.
yes, yes. They were named for their position of birth, like most stars and constellations are. So yeah, um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it was funny that portrayal. I cracked up when I heard their names. So uh,
Yep. Yeah. Too fun. Too fun. Oh boy. So anyway, well, I guess we're gonna have to go ahead and close out. But
yes,
I really enjoyed the bit though about the director. Oh gosh, Graham? No, what was his name? Oh no, he was so excited that Peter O'Toole wanted to play the king. Wasn't it Peter O'Toole who actually like went, "Oh, okay, I'll play the king." You know, he
yeah.
actually
I
came
think
to
he
him or
had a
something.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, uh, yeah. The
He
director
said, "Yeah,
was
I'll play the king real quick." You know.
Christopher Vaughn, I think, was the
Oh,
director.
oh, okay. Maybe I'm getting my names mixed up then. But anyway, yes, that was fun.
Yeah,
Yep. All right. Well, thank you guys for coming and joining us for our Beyond the Book and live
yeah.
book
Thank you
discussion
all.
with Star. All right. Hopefully, there will be a. Oh, Jaren. Hello, Jaren. Jaren popped on. She says, "Awesome program. I'll have to watch the recording." Yes, this will stay on our web Facebook page. Also, there should be sometime this week, hopefully, a new poll for our next.
No, I lost you, Crystal. I lost you. So, okay. Well, it looks like our internet decided to stop. So I'm going to say goodbye. There will be a new poll, I think, for the next book. So look forward to that. Thank you all for joining us and take care. Have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.